Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another 4th and 62. This is our 17th episode, if you can believe it.
John Havlicek.
What was that?
John Havlicek.
Oh, John Havlicek, thank you.
17.
Yes, thank you. And Marty Barrett.
We are an unruly bunch.
We are, yes. So with me, as always, is from his palatial estate in somewhere near Westerly, Rhode Island, his cousin Stephen. And also
Hello,
here
everybody.
is the coach, Bob Paraso.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Coach.
Good afternoon. So there's a lot of stuff going on, which seems like we should do this show like twice a day.
Yeah.
But we're going to start today with a little bit of Charlie McAvoy, as tonight, Team USA versus Team Canada in the finals of the Four Nations face-off. And I know, Coach, you have some very strong opinions of what happened to Charlie McAvoy.
I do.
Coach, it's all yours.
I do. Charlie McAvoy is a very, very, very important cog to the success or failure of the Bruins this year.
Totally agree.
He's a great player, nice kid, and he now is the personification of what's wrong when you try to have true competition in an all-star venue. Usually people are out there, they go through the motions, they have some nice shots, nobody's getting hurt, no harm, no foul.
And the score is 12-9.
Correct. Now, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, that guy from Finland, McAvoy standing there back to him, cross-checks him pretty violently
Into the post.
into the
To the goal
post
Yeah.
with his shoulder.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, he was in a life-threatening condition for a while with that AC joint and the infection,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And he may be done for the year. That may be exaggeration, but that's a very, very bad outcome. And
At the very least, he comes back at the beginning of April when the season is basically over.
right, if they make it that far,
Right.
you know. Now, USA hockey was in charge of medical and training, okay?
Yep.
The Bruins had a nice vanilla press release, the typical Charlie had an upper body. Could
Upper
be
body injury.
anything from the waist up is fair game. Okay? Everybody knew it had to be his shoulder.
Yep.
Sneezing is upper body.
So now the second press release is Hockey USA was responsible for his medication, and then now they bring him back to Boston. You're not going to touch my guy anymore up there. They bring him back to Boston.
Something happened.
Then all of a sudden, it's another lawyer speak release. The coach has a press conference. He says, I refer you to the press release. He didn't elaborate.
Right.
The lawyer told him, keep your mouth shut. We haven't heard the end of this.
Right.
Okay. Talk freely. I've got another thing to bring up about the All-Stars.
That's okay.
Well, let me mention something about the All-Star game, Coach. Obviously, when it's just like, let's say, in league All-Star game, the players are just entertaining. They don't really care anymore about who wins. But the Four Nations face-off is something entirely different. These guys are representing their country, and the intensity level is what you want for every game, obviously. And so they're playing as hard as they possibly can. So I'm not saying dirty plays should be allowed, or we're not going to, we're going to ignore them. But that's what you've got with an international event, Four Nations. You've got some great hockey, and that's what we've seen so far.
Absolutely. No question. However, this is supposed to be an exhibition, and everybody complains that the quality of play is mediocre. The NBA is 175 to 180.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Nobody runs up and down the floor. It's like women's basketball.
defense.
Women's basketball where half the team couldn't go over the center line. And then that's crazy. Hockey was the same way. Break plates and speed skate around the rink and all that. Okay. Football, That's a joke.
Get it? Well,
All right. So anyhow, I'm saying don't do them.
okay.
The only reason the league does it is cash. Sell merch.
That's a good reason.
You get players, especially in basketball, making millions. You're going to pay them what, 10 grand to play? Okay, they'll pay you 10 grand not to play.
They could kill them, pay you 20 not to play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't watch them.
No.
I don't think I've watched a Pro Bowl in
Years.
30 years.
The NBA is trying to do something about their game. I mean, they know nobody's watching and nobody cares, and so they don't want to continue doing whatever charade they're putting on television. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're aware that it's not really a good product and it doesn't show off their game.
True. But again, so why do it?
Coach, you make a great argument, and I cannot disagree with you. That means I agree with you.
Thank you.
But you know, the McAvoy thing, and now the Bruins are going to be pointing fingers at Team USA. It's already started. You know, it's not lost on me that the coach of Team USA is McAvoy's father-in-law, which just throws an unbelievable monkey wrench into the whole thing. But Stephen, I had to notice your Bruins hat today. Did you want to comment on that?
You know, thanks for noticing it. It's a really nice hat, I got to tell you. So you might want to know
Yes,
how
it
I
is.
came about getting it. So I was at the game a couple of weeks ago where Pasternak scored a hat trick. And I don't know if you know this or if this is just a one-time thing, but, you know, obviously he gets his third goal and everybody's throwing their hat onto the ice. And it's cool. And you're going, look at all these cool hats. I mean, I had a hat. I was sitting right at the top. There's no way I was going to make the ice. I'm not so sure I would have thrown it. I don't think I would have. But anyway, on the scoreboard comes an ad. 25% off all Bruins hats in the pro shop after the game. And, like, do they always do it? I thought it was great. It was funny. And I went and bought one. I got 25% off because I needed a Bruins hat, and it's cool. And they were doing landslide business. It was great.
Right. Nice.
And what I didn't know, and I found out a couple of years ago, was you're allowed to go down after the game and pick through the bucket of hats
Really?
to get your hat back. Yeah.
Look at that. That's cool.
Or somebody else's hat.
Or see, well, I guess
Well, yeah.
you know, in the land of true honesty, somebody else's hat.
Right.
But so you could have thrown your hat, Stephen, and then run down to the bottom floor from way up at nosebleed
Yeah.
seats, and you could have got your hat back. But with your luck, which is similar to mine, someone would have grabbed it before saying,
Yeah.
wait a minute, this hat's better than the one I threw.
Then you'd be left with the ratty ones, all ripped and torn.
It was pretty good. I mean, Pasternak got his hat trick. I got my hat. We're all happy.
Nice,
Absolutely. And you
nice.
saved 25%.
And 25%.
So that
right.
means it only cost you $60. Congratulations.
They were 50% overpriced to start with, but you know, who cares?
So
And it wasn't $60. No.
it's okay. It was 50. But you know, I think and I think tonight it's going to be an unbelievable game. I don't think there's going to be 3 fights in 9 seconds,
No.
but
that was
I
crazy.
think I mean that was, you know, that was a
Do
Kachuk
you-
brothers showing off.
Do you think the fans will boo the Canadian national anthem?
No, they didn't. They didn't when it was in Boston the other night. They didn't boo it.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Well, they weren't playing the Americans either. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't know.
maybe.
So
Just as a form of retribution, because you know that's what happened up there. The U.S. national anthem was booed for whatever reason.
do you think that had something to do with the fights? I personally do not.
No,
I think the fights were Matthew Kachuk saying to his brother, follow my lead.
Yeah, but that makes I don't understand that. I mistakenly thought before I regained my senses that Canada was the one that checked McAvoy.
No, right,
No, it was Finland.
right,
So I said, okay, natural. Like if it was them,
Right.
okay, let's go. I'm going to protect our guy.
right. I.
No, but it wasn't.
Your thought it was retribution for the hit on Mac,
Yeah, right.
but it wasn't.
No, myself. It makes even less sense now.
Right.
It was just a good old hockey fight.
In 9 seconds.
Three of them.
Jeez.
And they weren't even, well, sorry, Stephen, but they weren't even good fights. They were just,
No.
Throw your helmet off, throw your gloves down, and, get in a wrestling match and hope the guy doesn't hit me.
Yeah,
know.
and look for the guys in the black stripes to come and break it up.
Yeah,
Is there any other way to fight?
I don't think so. Well, the next thing you wanted to talk about was the latest kerfuffle at Fenway South, which has to do with Alex Bregman.
John, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have to talk about whether the Bruins are going to be sellers or buyers right now.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
You got the good thing from Stoops.
Well, I don't know if I want to say that on air, but word has it that the Bruins are going to be sellers now that McAvoy is probably done for the year. If not,
Well, I'm glad to hear that because they definitely should be sellers, I think. And now will they trade Brad Marchand?
Well,
Can they get anything for him?
my person told me that they can get a second round pick, and someone for Providence, which bemoans the question, what's the point?
Right.
Well, after they trade him, they would re-sign him at the end of the year. Isn't that the scenario?
Well,
He's a free agent.
that wasn't brought up. Yeah, so to the receiving team, he's a rent-a-player.
Yes.
He just plays out the string, kind of like Ray Bork, although Ray Bork won a Stanley Cup.
That's why he went to
That's right.
Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
Sidney traded him to Colorado.
Right.
So he could
Why
so
would the
that could
Bruins settle for a second round pick instead of a first round pick from Marchand?
because just like the Patriots, they suck at drafts.
Right. But wait a minute. I mean, the Marchand's on the block because he's lost his edge.
Yep.
His reputation way back when, first rounder.
Yeah,
Now you're lucky to get a second rounder.
I know.
Yeah, but he could put a team over the top. I mean, he still has talent. He's still a really good player. And so a team would look at him not as anything but this guy could bring us the Stanley Cup. He could help.
Yeah, I think it all depends on which team that is. But I agree that signing him, the Bruins signing him back up after the end of this season, I think that's on the table. I think that's a viable scenario. So
Sure.
okay, can I
Okay.
move on to Bregman now?
Let's do Bregman. Absolutely.
Okay, so with Alex Bregman, leave it to the Red Sox to bring in a Gold Glove third baseman and plan not to play him where he won his Gold Glove. Leave it to the
Right.
Red Sox to do that. I think Devers Coach Bob, you said something before we went on air, like he sucks his thumb. or
He's
something.
sucking his thumb.
Sucking his
It
thumb.
says, now, in somewhat fairness, I read Shaughnessy's article
Right.
and Abraham.
Yep.
Okay, and they're both saying Cora will soothe
We'll figure
the
it out.
savage
We'll
beast.
figure it out. Yeah.
However, part of Devers signing that outrageous contract that's got him handcuffed now.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a no trade in it or not, but they said you're our third baseman. Okay, so the kid comes, Bregman comes, much better fielder by far.
Yep.
There's a lot of kids playing for Chelmsford High School that are better fielders than Devers at third. Okay?
Okay.
However, they said, you're the third base. So they asked him, are you going to? No, I'm the third baseman.
Right.
Third base.
I'm not going to DH.
Are you going to DH? No. I thought that was classic.
It was-
There was no whining. No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
If I'm the Red Sox, I get Big Papi over
Yeah.
and I sit down with Devers and say, listen, young man, I became a legend by being a DH.
Right.
So just relax. It's okay. No, I understand he wants to play third, and I don't blame him.
And,
But,
he's horrible
To your
there.
point,
And-
John, you bring in Bregman, you've almost got to play him at third base.
Right. Right.
And if you look at Bregman's contract, it's outrageous. Boros snook at everybody. $40 million a year for 3 years?
Yep.
I don't think so.
With opt-outs every year.
That's the key. I
Yep.
think the Red Sox and Bregman,
Have
40
opt-outs.
million. We make the World Series, goodbye. I mean, come on. I'm not going to make the World Series anyhow. However, you know, he is a good outstanding third baseman, Gold Glover,
Yep.
right? And all reports is that our boy Devers is coming back to camp, okay, like a bear going into hibernation.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of extra weight on him.
Yep.
You know, all I can think of is the panda.
Oh,
Telling you, this poor kid, if he cannot,
Let's hope not.
if he can't push himself away from the buffet table, he's going to eat himself out of the league.
well, and then on top of all that, he's not practicing yet because
No.
his shoulder's still messed up.
Right, but he's not disciplined enough from what it
Right.
looks like to
Right.
get on the bike, run, you know,
Get in the weight room.
get in the weight room.
Right.
You can't do your shoulder work. That's fine. Do leg work. Nobody likes to do leg work anyhow. So,
Yeah.
you know, get in shape.
Well, Stephen, any thoughts on that? Devers being.
Well,
Have you seen a picture of Devers?
no, I haven't. I just read that he came in heavy, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen any pictures.
He looks like
I
me.
mean, he,
Oh, he's a physical specimen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolute specimen
Yeah.
is the key in that sentence.
you know, I want him to be happy, but I really think the Red Sox, they didn't get Bregman to not make it into the playoffs and win and try to win the World Series. I
Or
mean,
pay him $40 million to do that.
pay him $40 million. And I think from Bregman's point of view, he obviously wants to play at Fenway. He wants to hit a gazillion home runs and then go see you, thanks, and sign a long-term contract with somebody else.
The
Now, if the
Dodgers.
Red Sox do get into the World Series by some incredible stretch, we'll all be happy, I think.
Do either of you guys know why Bregman wore number 2 in Houston?
Don't.
Stephen?
I don't know that.
Because
John, regale us.
he was really upset that he wasn't the number 1 draft pick and he went number 2 to Houston. So that's why he wore number 2, which is basically an FU to everyone in the Houston front office. But if that's what the kid did, to me, he's not that big a guy. I don't get it. I don't.
Did you guys play sports where you had numbers on your back? Did you have a favorite number? Or a number you didn't want to wear? Did you?
No.
And
Yes.
I mean,
I mean,
I'll tell you, the reason why I asked is because I never wanted to wear number 1 because that always meant you were the smallest guy on the team. So I didn't want to be number 1.
I was
I'm
never
okay with
given-
2, but not 1.
I was never given number 1, so
I didn't wear it either, but I'm
Coach,
just telling you, I
what
didn't
was
want
your
to wear
number
it.
when you were the quarterback for Chelmsford
17.
High? 17?
17.
John
Oh, I should have
Havlicek.
said should have said Coach Bob instead
you
of
go.
John
There you go.
Havlicek.
Yeah. What was yours?
17th show. Any number, whatever, but not 1.
Well, what would you play? I mean, when you were an all-star baseball player,
Yeah,
what was your
I don't
number
know.
there?
2, 10, 5, no idea.
Really?
Didn't matter.
Huh.
Really? I didn't care.
Wow. Okay. So we've talked
But
about.
but I do, if I had walk-up music, which you didn't have back then, but if I had walk-up music, it would be the theme song to 4th and 62. Telling you right now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks. You were
Perfect.
you're a soothsayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had walk-up music, it would not be the theme song, the 4th and 62.
So what would it be?
I don't know, something by
Happy days.
something Happy Days, something by Tower of Power or the Eagles.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
Right.
So,
Okay.
so we got a couple of minutes left, Coach. Did you want to talk about the Patriots free agency?
Yeah. First, the money available. The Patriots right now, before the rumor has it the salary cap is going to go up
Yep.
on like 50 mil. So right now, before that, they have 120 plus million
Wow.
of
To screw up with.
screw up with. Right. Now, if the cap goes up to 275 and a half,
Like
that,
it's supposed to.
right,
Yep.
that pushes them to 126 plus. If it goes to 281, it pushes them to 130. I mean,
Wow.
they got to get something. They can maybe even buy some new footballs or something with that kind of money.
I'm thinking more like they should give all season ticket holders a free year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You should have changed your hat before you said that.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got plenty of Patriots hats. Don't worry.
Okay. I'm not worried.
I mean,
Okay.
this and there's some real big names available on the line that are also looking for big money. You know, and the ones that
So-
I found, that Ronnie Stanley from the Ravens, okay, Cam Robinson is currently with the Vikings, and Alaric Jackson. Now this kid intrigues me. Have you guys ever heard of him? I hadn't. I hadn't.
I heard of him because we talked about him
Right.
before the show.
But this kid out of Iowa, you know, he may have to get a little bit bigger, but he's only 6'7", 345.
Well, maybe he'll go out to dinner with Devers.
I've seen him play. He's got outstanding technique, and if I'm not mistaken, I've heard before he has not given up a sack from his left tackle position.
What would the
What's his
Patriots
name?
do?
Alaric Jackson, out of Iowa.
6'7", 345. He's a little guy.
And according to the scuttlebutt and the talking heads in the know, the Rams are expected to not let him go. Gee,
Sure.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
But
Well, all these guys that the Patriots are going to try to overpay are going to get now suddenly overpaid by their own teams.
right,
Right.
So the Patriots really have to like just go, okay, this is insane money, but if you want a guy, you've got to like totally, rewrite the rules as far as what you think a guy is worth and just throw money at him.
Totally
Literally.
agree.
right.
Totally agree. So I think that as far as the Patriots are concerned, and we had Karen Garigi in here a couple of weeks ago, they're starting from the bottom. They re-signed today. Yesterday, maybe yesterday. They re-signed Ben Brown, to which Coach Bob says, "Who's he?"
Look at Steve.
Ben Brown. Do you know who that is?
You know who Ben Brown is?
Oh,
He was the center they picked up from the Raiders practice squad. So they re-signed him, and they re-signed Jermonte. I forget his last name. The other kid that came in, and okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay. No,
we just got a signal.
we just got a signal from Oz.
Like I didn't see
we're up
that.
against it.
Okay.
Time?
No, go ahead.
Almost couple of minutes.
We don't pay any attention to the clock. Okay, so yes, Brown,
If the other kid,
the other kid. I mean, big names,
yeah.
right?
All right, you got to start somewhere, right?
Well,
Right.
hopefully those kids are re-signed for the bench, and not to
Yes.
start.
Well, the practice squad. You need bodies.
Yep, yep, and you need bodies that can play. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know.
The
I don't
Patriots,
know. I'm getting a lot of good feeling with the Patriots and the Red Sox. So don't kill it yet, okay? I'd like to feel good. I mean, the Bruins let us down, and the Celtics are still in it. Obviously, they're as good a chance of winning it as anybody. So let's. I want to just keep the faith with the Patriots and the Red Sox.
Hey, listen, we could live in Dallas, which they traded Luka Doncic,
Yeah.
and the city burnt down.
yeah.
I mean, they were rioting, they were having funerals, they were doing all kinds of wacky stuff.
Yeah.
I think
We
God
get
would-
it. We get it, Mookie Betts.
Yes,
Hello.
absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
And they got back a good player when he's on the floor, right? Anthony Davis, good defensive player.
Yeah, but he's out half the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like the kid from Philly,
Yep. Oh, Embiid.
Embiid. I mean, that poor kid, he comes back 2 games, boom, he's gone for 10.
Yep.
Okay, now I think we have to wrap up, John, because Peter's going to be
Yeah, he's
signing
gonna-
us off.
We should hear music any minute here.
I think we should have protests from
I
anybody.
thi-
Please
I
write
think we
in.
should make them. I think we should make them sweat a little bit. Just keep talking.
Please write in to 4th and 62.
He won't care, Stephen.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll still go to black. Fade to black.
Protest that we can't talk.
Yeah. But I'd like to thank my guests this week, as usual. No guests, the usual cousin Stephen and Coach Bob. I'd like to thank Pete, who's subbing in for Peter, and Jack, and I think Chuck is up there too, as a cast of thousands. Thank you very
And
much.
thank you, John.
We'll see you next week on 4th and 62.